Cemeteries hold a special and sacred place in our communities. For a number of years, a storage shed at Our Lady of Czestochowa Cemetery had been in a state of disrepair and rarely used. But some individuals in the parish believed that this shed could ultimately be transformed into something that future generations could be proud of and enjoy. Steve Kiltonick has this story of a priest and a parishioner, both who were determined to make their dream a reality.
It stands in Our Lady of Czestochowa Cemetery as a testament to the 108 Polish martyrs of World War II, all of whom were murdered by the Nazis for their Roman Catholic faith. Over the years, this once run-down storage shed was transformed into a magnificent rustic chapel dedicated to Mary, Queen of the Polish martyrs. It became a reality because of a priest's vision and a parishioner's love and devotion. The story begins with Father Charles Di Mascola, the pastor of Our Lady of Czestochowa Parish. Inspired by the actions of the Polish martyrs, which included bishops, priests, nuns, and lay people, he wrote a book called Out of the Cross. After Pope John Paul II beatified and canonized the martyrs in 1999, Father Di Mascola felt the martyrs should not be forgotten.
If we don't stand up for our faith, the same thing could happen again. And so all of these people died rather tragically but heroically.
Father Di Mascola studied for the priesthood in Poland and had fond memories of the beautiful mountain chapels. Father Di Mascola, a former high school art teacher, came up with the initial design for the chapel, which resembles those found in the Zakopane region of southern Poland. But when the contractor estimated construction costs to be $60,000, Father Di Mascola decided to scrap the project as being too expensive. That's when Lawrence Kramus entered the picture. The 89-year-old Kramus is a lifelong parishioner of Our Lady of Czestochowa. His parents immigrated to the U.S. from Poland and became successful farmers in town. His family's burial plot is in the cemetery.
God has been good to me, and He's given me the ability to learn from what I do and what I see and who I work with.
Kramus became a jack of all trades and worked as a carpenter, mechanic, welder, mason, heavy equipment operator, and truck driver.
Years ago, people of means, they built libraries and schools and everything. They have a legacy left behind. Mm-hmm. And I got thinking, well, why don't I do the same thing? They want a chapel. I says, we're going to go for it.
When Kramus told Father Di Mascola he wanted to not only build the chapel, but pay for it as well, Father Di Mascola was a bit skeptical.
I was a little bit at first, but I knew that if Mr. Kramus put his mind to something, he did it. I mean, he was not a talker, he was a doer.
Larry Rue, an architect by trade, designed the chapel plans with Father Di Mascola's input.
He had pictures of typical Polish chapels. He had pictures of interiors of Polish chapels in the mountains. And so I just kind of like took a little piece from each chapel and try to get it to fit in this, this small building that we have here.
In 2009, Kramus started to shop around for materials. He then recruited two volunteer friends, Gary Norman and George Asselin, to help him with the heavy bulwark and the more difficult steeped pitch roof. Rue, Kramus, and his friends worked for about 3 years constructing the 16 by 20-foot chapel in various stages.
In the wintertime it was cold, so we'd work in the shop building the steeple and all that sort of stuff, and that cross is all handmade. That was made by Seller.
Rue designed and hand-carved the altar and reredos with his two sons. It took over 5 months and 300 hours.
The hardest part of the whole project was actually carving in oak. It's a very hard wood. I mean, I've done a lot of carving, but mostly in softwoods, and this was all done in oak, so it made it quite a challenge.
The chapel interior consists of an eclectic mix. 2 stained glass windows were recycled from the closed St. John Church in Millers Falls. The other windows were found by Di Mascola on eBay and Amazon.com. 2 life-size carved statues of Mary and Joseph were donated from the Sisters of Providence. 3 old farm bells were donated for the bell tower. The Worried Christ statue is from the Zakopane region of Poland, while the olive wood carving of Christ carrying the cross is from Jerusalem. The 108 Polish martyrs icon, created by parishioner Anna Marie Green Smith, hangs above the altar, which can be pulled out for services.
It looks like it dropped out of the sky from Poland. It's amazing. The shape of it, as you can see, is a typical Zakopańskie, what they call a drewniany kościół, a wooden church in the old style, in the mountain style of Poland. And it really does. It has the perfect silhouette, the perfect shape. And when you see it across the cemetery as you come in, it's very impressive. This was his act of love. It really was. It's a pure act of love on his part.
Since 2012, the chapel has provided shelter for burial services during inclement weather. It's also been used during the parish's annual Memorial Day Mass. Parishioners also come to just spend quiet time and reflect. And it has become a tourist destination pilgrimage of sorts.
You believe in something, you love it, you do it and do the best you can. And as far as I'm concerned, how much more can you ask? I might die broke, but I'm going to die happy.
So if you're traveling through Turner's Falls, stop by the cemetery chapel for a respite. Lawrence Kramus will be pleased you did. For Reel to Reel, I'm Steve Kiltonick.